Well, certainly a warmer, more humid day today, and even started out the morning with some scattered showers. Most of those ended during the afternoon, but a few are still ongoing. Nothing particularly heavy, and most of the start of the day tomorrow will be relatively dry. Line of storms moving in tomorrow night, probably moving into more western parishes around 9. We'll talk about the timing of those storms coming up in just a moment. Mix of sun and clouds out over downtown. Wasn't a bad day today, just a little more on the humid side and a definitely warmer afternoon. We're in the 70s outside at the moment with an afternoon high of 79, only 2 degrees off of the record, and tomorrow's high I think may get up to about 81 degrees. Currently in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and again with the higher humidity in place and more of a strong southeasterly wind during the night, I do think fog may be a little bit more widespread late tonight and early tomorrow, and may start to see that fog moving in possibly by about 9 or 10, especially in our coastal areas. But the models are going a bit more aggressive with the widespread fog, and the visibility is much lower, so it could be a bit more of a concern to start the day and maybe even later on tonight. Our front is on the move, and you can kind of see where that front is already starting to bring in some cooler air. Matter of fact, there are going to be 2 cold fronts in our forecast before the weekend. The first one will bring in that chance for storms later on tomorrow night. Now, at the moment, there is no severe weather. It really doesn't look like the front is going to become more active in terms of the severity until it starts to move more into southeastern Louisiana. So what rain is along the front does make it a little bit more in terms of forecasting the timing and intensity a bit trickier, because we are not at the moment watching a solid line of storms approach. We'll start to set up during the day tomorrow, but in the meantime, we're just kind of basing this on what the model trends have been. Most of the early part of the day tomorrow does look to be relatively dry. I have us during the day 30, maybe 40%, and then tomorrow evening, probably again about 9 o'clock or so, we should start to see that more solid line of storms. Anything ahead of and right along the line does have the risk of being strong to severe. As far as the timing goes, once again, it'll all be after dark. Before midnight or so, based on this model, moving across the North Shore metro area, maybe before midnight or so, kind of clearing the area, and certainly after about 1 to 2, moving out of our viewing area. So it does look like kind of very similar to what we had a couple of weeks ago as far as the timing goes. As far as the severe threat goes, about the same as well. Low end threat, a level 1 to 2, for the main threat being gusty winds, a little bit lower threat for maybe some tornadoes. And as far as flooding goes, looks like that may be more of an issue to our north with us under that lower end risk for some localized street flooding. Again, I don't think flooding is going to be a widespread concern, as most of the accumulation models are indicating an inch or more as far as widespread accumulation. Some localized spots could see a little bit more than that, but I don't think that's going to be, again, a concern over most of the area. Here's the upper energy. This is kind of the first of 2 upper troughs, and again, 2 cold fronts will move on through. First one brings in our storms during the latter part of the night or latter part of the day tomorrow and into Thursday. Here comes a second trough. It's going to be this second one that really taps into some colder Canadian air and forces that down to the Gulf Coast. And so while we will clear out for all of the parades coming up this weekend, it is going to be much colder. Got to say about 81 degrees. Again, spotty to scattered showers during the day. Most of our rain along the front or along that line that develops won't be until probably after 8, 9 o'clock. Model's still trying to get an idea of when that will be. It'll be more late evening, but then wrapping up by probably at the latest 2 a.m. on Thursday. Some lingering showers on Thursday. Second front moves through with temperatures only in the 50s for Friday. Then as we get into our parade forecast, chilly evenings, cold mornings, and boy, Saturday and Sunday looks like highs will stay in the 50s.